online competition.
Yes, another great episode, Daniel. I am looking forward to this.
Yeah, so how are you, partner?
I'm doing fantastic. And how about you?
Well, busy, busy always. You know me, busy, busy because
Because
we are
podcast machine.
machine.
Yes.
We are podcast machine. People, we have one more podcast coming with Mr. Michael. We are brewing something. What's the title again, Mr. Michael?
AI 101.
AI 101. Yes, people, we're having AI 101, Sports 101, and of course, Entrepreneurship 101. And we are adding more and more and more.
Yes. There's so much to discuss, Daniel. There's so many topics to address.
Yes, too
Yes.
much topic to
Yes.
empower people all over the world.
To
I
teach,
hope.
motivate, and empower
Mm,
others all over the world. That's right, Daniel.
yes, let's motivate people and give them discipline. They said that discipline is better than motivation, don't you think, Mr. Michael?
Discipline is powerful because we can have motivation, but discipline is what's going to help drive us across that finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
Getting
definitely.
started is one thing, having the discipline to continue and do it day after day after day is so important.
Yes, very important. And the same with the sports. You don't if you don't have a discipline for sure you will not be succeed. But
That's
today,
right. Talent
mm,
can only take us but so far, Daniel. We gotta have the discipline and the consistency to get to the next level.
it's hard, right? It's pain in the ass if you have a discipline.
But our listeners, Daniel, want to get to the next level. And that's what we're here to drive and motivate. Isn't that right, partner?
Definitely. Yes. For sure. That is our aim and goals. But today our topic for this episode is all about the business of a sports,
Yes.
money, media, and power. Mm. Sport is
Yes.
a sport is something that we need to support because they are a multi-billion-dollar budget.
Sports is a big business. And even now with, sports betting taking off the way it has, never before has so much money been around sports. So we need to be talking about these things, Daniel, and how where people fit in or don't fit in to all this money that's being generated.
Mhm. Yes, definitely. So, Mr. Michael, looking at the three pillars media rights, sponsorship, and ticket sales, which does become the most volatile and transformative in the last decade, and why?
I think the most volatile, the most expansive, you know, deals with broadcasting and streaming. The
Yes.
real elephant in the room when it comes to sports is the sports league ability to generate income through media and TV rights. So every time we turn on the television, anytime we pull up our phone and we have access to live sports, or we pull up our computer, many billions of dollars are being made, and the sports leagues have figured out how to keep generating the revenue all around the world, right? Sports is so popular, and based upon that popularity and the deals that they've made, right? For them, it's the gift that keeps on giving. So much money is connected to it. I think you're muted, Daniel. You're muted, Daniel.
Thank you. So,
Mhm.
Mr. Michael, franchise valuation are skyrocketing despite many teams showing paper losers. What are the institutional investors like private equity funds or really buying when they purchase a minority stake in a team?
Daniel, the the sports league have revenue sharing, right? So
Yes.
while one team might not be as successful on the field or on the court, their ability to, you know, share wealth, to have revenue sharing, allows those teams to still succeed. Oftentimes, when a team leaves an area, obviously, you know, how well they do matters, but a lot of that has to do with whether or not they have the facility, right, to be able
Mm,
to whether or not, you know, that jurisdiction is going to be able to keep that team there based upon, you know, their sports arena. And you know, I think it's so important that, you know, investors, people who want to make money, can look at sports as, in some ways, a model and a blueprint to be able to share revenue. Everybody can eat, right, when the pie is large enough. So that's how some teams really succeed, even when they may be a perennial loser. Obviously, there's people in that area who still want to support their team. They like to have places to go and people to cheer for. But sports, in many ways, and we can get into whether or not, you know, uh, all those dealings are up and up and on, you know, have the best, you know, business. What word am I looking for here? The best business practices. That's maybe
mhm,
another podcast for another day. But
mhm.
one thing that's pretty certain is that they understand the bottom line, they understand profit, they understand how to generate revenue, and much of that has to do with revenue sharing. The league itself, right, wants to make sure that there's teams that are still viable and generate more money.
Yes, money, money come to us, partner. We need to generate money as well, don't you think?
That's right. The more we make, the more we can give.
Yes. I get be blessed by others.
That's
So the
right.
shift from bundled cable packages to direct to consumer streaming feels inevitable for a league like MLB, or is this transition an existential threat to revenue stability, or it's a greatest opportunity for global growth?
For them, it's really good to
Mm,
be able to know that they have a source of money, a pool of money to pull from. I don't know whether or not you have cable, Daniel, but when we buy a cable package, you know, whether we want to watch a sporting event or not, the money
yes.
that we pay towards our cable bill helps these sports leagues be successful. So, TV and sports are inextricably linked to each other. And some would say that's not fair. And again, people can weigh in on that, but it's reality. Much of the money that goes into the sports leagues come from TV, streaming rights.
Mm,
And those of us who pay towards that are helping them be successful, whether we're watching the games or not.
yes. We're helping them to succeed. And I hope our listeners will help us to succeed as well. Oh, that'll be awesome.
That's
So,
right.
what? So, Mr. Michael, when a team successfully sources public funding for a new stadium, or who are the true winners or losers in the deal 15 years later, beyond the obvious talking points?
Yeah, that's a challenging question, Daniel, because many would say everybody wins. That when a sports team is viable, it helps promote business in that area. The sports leagues certainly benefit in that taxpayer dollars, a certain amount of it goes towards building their stadium. So many would say it's a win-win. The angels are in the details, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some would say the devil's in the detail. I'll say the angels are in the details. And I'm not an expert on this, but think about it. When you go to a game, they're going to there's going to be sponsors. There's going to be restaurants. There's going to be merchandise sold. In many ways, that's a win-win scenario. it's good to help an area be vibrant. That means more people are going to come into town. That means more uh, hotels and Airbnbs, right, are going to be
Yes.
purchased.
Hmm.
So sports has been invaluable with helping areas thrive successfully. The question is fairness and equity. Who are the winners? Who are the losers? And is the pie divvied up fairly? Sports leagues that get it understand that they need to create one of the best customer experience for the fans, because having a quality product on the field or on the court matters. Investing in players matter. At the same time, what the community can gain from that matters. Sports leagues and sports teams that are willing to be philanthropic, to be, philanthropic in their ways. Do they serve the community? Are they supporting education? Do they care about the youth? All of these things can work together. And that's why leaders and elected officials, right, need to make sure that things are being done fairly and that it's a win-win scenario.
Certainly, it's a win-win. So let's talk about the lifetime value versus the peak performance, Mr. Michael. An athlete's peak earning years are incredibly short. What are the most innovative strategies you are seeing for athletes to build sustainable business empires that outlast their playing careers?
Yeah. First, I say they need to take care of their body and their mental health, right?
Yes,
Because at the end
yes.
of the day, that peak performance is only going to be manifest with the product that they put into the arena. Then those who understand that that window may close, to be smart investors, to understand that not only are they an athlete that produces a product on a field, that they have to build, it's important to build their own brand and to understand that that brand is marketable and it can push products and it can bring them back revenue for themselves. So I think being disciplined matters. The same discipline that an athlete puts down on the field or on the court, the same discipline needs to be put towards their financial life, knowing, right, that
Hmm.
things could change really quickly. So being a good saver, paying yourself first matters, having the discipline when it comes to lifestyle. Because let's face
Yes,
it, sometimes the more we make, the more we spend.
true.
But the
Sad to
athlete who
say.
go ahead, Danny.
Sad to say, but it's true, Mr. Michael.
Yeah. Not just for athletes, right? But for anyone. We sometimes the more we
Hmm.
make. So the question is not just how much can we make, but how much can you keep? How much
True.
can you live off of down the road? And also to realize that it's not just about right living off what you earned while on the field, because eventually, right, every athlete has to put the sneakers away or the cleats up, at least as professionally is concerned. So if an athlete plays 5 to 10 years, what are you going to do with the rest of that with your adult life? So many need to
Mm.
understand, right, that they need to continue to generate revenue, whether that's through investments or another field of employment.
Create wealth, people, while still have those flowing income. The political capital of stardom, Mr. Michael. With great fame comes influence. How are top athletes now leveraging their platforms to gain equity in companies, shape brand direction, or even influence league policy in ways to go far beyond traditional sponsorship check?
I think a lot of it has to do with social media. Athletes now
Mm.
have a voice more now than ever, and they have the opportunity to partner with other companies towards building their brand and their brand being built by that company. And you know, so being understanding sales, understanding marketing, understanding that they can leverage their fame, their notoriety to generate money for themselves, generate money for that business is a win-win situation. And investors get that, right? businesses get that if you can connect with an athlete that lines up with your vision. So think about it. If you choose a star athlete who's disciplined and they support your product, you're sending a message that not only is this product cool, but it ties into the idea or the message that the athlete gives. So if you want to show a top athlete who's disciplined, right? That's going to show
Mm,
up in that branding. So you want to connect, businesses want to connect with people that can extend their brand and vice versa.
yes, certainly. So the risk of persona, Mr. Michael, when athletes' brand becomes larger in their sports, like Curry or Osaka or other famous players, what unique vulnerabilities and pressures does create for them as a business entity?
I think the big vulnerability is the spotlight. The more spotlight we have on us, the more blemishes and flaws we can see. Fame is a powerful, powerful thing. And once more eyeballs are on us, right, that's where the real discipline, the reputation, and the character matters because as quickly as it comes is as quickly as it can go. A mistake, a public foible, or a scandal can put it all at risk. And we see it so often, right? I think that's why it's so important, Daniel, to never let our talent take us to a place that our character won't sustain us. Talent has its place. Character, integrity, discipline has its place as well.
Very well said, Mr. Michael. You need an applause. Very well said indeed.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yes. So let's talk about the real power broker. Among these three, the media executive buying the right, the stars, athletes, agent, and the franchise owner, who wields the most subtle yet significant power in shaping the modern sports landscape and why?
My first thought are the sports leagues. Players are going to come and go. The sports leagues, right, have been pretty sustainable. So teams and owners have a tremendous amount of power, but they ultimately, right, have to collectively bargain with athletes to make sure that the two of them can collaborate to make sure that ownership and players can come together and continue to have to keep work going. And fans have a say in that. Fans need to know their voice. Fans need to understand, right, that without their monetary contributions, the leagues can't be sustainable. So the fan experience matters, right? Fans who understand that, particularly you think about season ticket owners, right? Those who spend big money to come and watch games regularly, they have a tremendous say. And that's the beauty of business, right? In many ways, that when the business understands that it's only going to be as successful as it keeps the clients happy, then that should be a win-win scenario. The fans can support, business should support the community. And then we all get in there and cheer and celebrate our favorite teams because in many ways, Daniel, sports is a metaphor for life. The energy, the effort that athletes put in on the field or on the court, it translates very well into life. Training, discipline, and being able to perform under pressure. People gravitate towards that, right? In many ways, we love an underdog story. And so many people listening today, right, maybe have been that underdog, just like their favorite team. Maybe they weren't expected to thrive or to succeed. Maybe they're somewhere in a remote village right now listening to us, right?
Yes.
Maybe they're in an urban area and they feel like, you know, no one sees them. Sports can help drive us towards success. Because if you can put the energy and effort on the field, on the court, that same energy is going to translate well into life in the classroom, in the boardroom. Yes, sir.
Yes, definitely. So let's talk about the next asset class. If the media rights are largely tapped, the stadiums are built, what is the next underutilized asset on the team's balance sheet that forward-thinking owners are now starting to monetize?
Name, image, and likeness.
Yes.
Name, image, and likeness. You think about sponsorship deals, Daniel. Some athletes make tremendous amounts of money through their sponsors, right? And through their
Yes.
own brand deals. And I think the sports leagues realize that. They realize that if an athlete builds their name, they may have leverage in leaving that team at some point. So it behooves the league, it behooves the team, it behooves the athletes, right, to work together so that way the pie is large enough for everyone to eat. Because at the end of the day, Daniel, everyone's got to eat. Right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Certainly.
That's right.
Well, definitely. So, Mr. Michael, the athletes bargain. We need to do bargain. That's just for sure. Today's athletes have more earning power than ever,
That's
but
right.
also face unprecedented public scrutiny and 24/7 media exposure. Is this a fair bargain, or how is it changing psychology of the modern star?
Great question. Is it fair? Well, many would say life is not fair, right?
Yes,
So,
life is unfair sometimes.
right. That's right. That's right. Uh, so I won't deal too much with whether or not it's fair. I will say that it's real. And you're right. Athletes have a tremendous amount of leverage. They have a tremendous amount of influence. But influence, I believe, is about leadership. Where are you leading people towards? So, in generating money, you notice, Daniel, a lot of athletes are building their own foundations,
True.
just
Yes.
like you're doing right here with the podcast. You have your own
Mhm.
foundation. We understand, right, that to earn, for many, they understand the importance of giving back and
Yes.
serving others. So, with that leverage, what do we do with the leverage? Will it just be about the stats that you had? Will it just be about the amount of money that you made? Because let's face it, Daniel, a lot of athletes, we know through the years have struggled after they've left sports.
Yes.
And we can get into many reasons as to why that is, right? But think about it. Not many people, Daniel, earn their highest amount of money in their 20s.
Yes.
Most people getting a job and their career can go like this financially. Oftentimes for athletes, right, the money's front loaded in the younger years. So how much are you making? How much are you able to keep? How much are you able to serve others? So with that leverage, with that influence, how are you using it? How are you investing? How are you serving? And that deals with the well balanced approach. That's why I'm glad we're able to talk about these things on this podcast. This is not talked about enough. The idea of how our athletes not only perform on the field, but off the field. Why is it that so many, right,
Yes.
lose their fortune when they stop playing? Well, I hope our conversations here will open up more dialogue and help young athletes right now. Somebody, right, maybe thinking about being a professional athlete themselves. And hopefully they'll hear these words. It's not just how much you make, but how much you can keep. Because the
Yeah.
more we make, the more we can give.
Definitely. I like that motto. Mr. Michael, the more you bless, you will bless others.
That's right.
And the disruption forecast, looking ahead 5 years, what is the single most likely source of disruptive change to the sports money ecosystems? Athlete led media empires, immersive digital experiences or something else entirely?
I'm thinking it's going to be AI. I think
AI.
AI is going to be one of the most disruptive forces that we've seen. How will it affect sports? How will it affect sports gambling? How will it affect our world?
Everything.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So my eyes are open to AI and how it's going to impact the sporting world. And with sports gambling being what it is and how it's exploding, right? The
Hmm.
integrity of the game is coming into question and the technology. I'm just really interested, Daniel, into how the technology is going to impact the sporting world. So we're going to stay tuned on that.
Yeah, stay tuned, people. Our first episode with Mr. Michael AI 101.
Yes, sir.
Tune in for that. We will talk about how AI will change our lives forever.
That's right.
Mm.
So looking forward to that.
Definitely. So, the formula of modern dynasty. Building a champion team has always been hard. In today's environment, what matters more? Is it about a visionary owner willing to spend, or a data driven front office, or a city market that acts a magnet for superstar talent and sponsors?
I think in many ways it does start at the top, with leadership within a sports team. You know, when so much money is generated, you can tell that some sports teams, right, might not winning might not be every team's top priority. But when you create a winner, when you are serious about creating a winner, right, ultimately it lifts the team, it can help lift the community, and it can help lift revenue. I would imagine, in life, right, everybody wants to win, but how committed to winning are we? The data can help that, but ultimately sports is a people business as well. There's plenty of examples, right, of sports teams who might not have had the biggest payrolls, i.e., the movie Moneyball, right, where we a team was creative. The Oakland Athletics, right, were creative in how they built their team. They didn't have all the money, but they used data, they used analytics, and they used people skills. They used player development to help build a winner. And I think we're going to see more and more of that, Daniel, where teams are going to be creative. They're going to have to think outside the box in order to have a competitive team. Teams that are perennially at the bottom of the standings, obviously it's going to be hard for them to make money and be viable. So building a winner is about visionary leadership. It is about building a team and understanding that how you treat players, how you treat your teammates, how you involve yourself in the community matters.
Community matters, people. And Mr. Michael, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world of sports. Thank you, thank you. So, would you please to plug in something?
Yes, to all our listeners, check out all of Daniel's podcasts. Yes, 101, right? The list
Yes,
goes on.
101.
There's so much to gain from, whether it's food 101, right? Or trivia 101, the entrepreneurship 101. There's so much
Yes.
information that they can learn and gather from your different co-hosts, from the different guests that you have on. So big shout out to Daniel Lucas and his platform. Check him out, people. Great content, great information out there.
Indeed. And how about your book, Mr. Michael? I don't want to forget your book. Please do plug in likewise.
Yes, my book is called A Beautiful Challenge, and they can go to my website and purchase right from there, brownsleadership.com, and we'd love to get a copy out to them.
Yes, definitely. Yes, people, let's support Mr. Michael T. Brown. Because if you support him for sure, more and more empowering episodes that we are doing right now, for sure. And please do listen to our other podcast, Entrepreneurship 101, wherever you listen your podcast. And of course, Sports 101 coming soon, and AI 101. And we are thinking more. At least we have
Yes.
5 or 4 podcast with Mr. Michael because all of my co-hosts we have 4 or 5 podcasts. So
Why? Because Daniel is a
like
podcast
Cash
machine.
Machine. We're doing our best to give you the best of the best, wow, podcasts in the world through all my co-hosts. And one of my co-hosts is Mr. Michael T. Brown, my legendary co-host for sure. And one more question, Mr. Michael, before we go. If the primary goal of a sports franchise shift from winning a championship to maximize asset valuation and shareholder return, what is the ultimately loss for the sport, the fans, and the culture that surrounds it?
Repeat the last part. Was the ultimate what?
The ultimate loss for the
Loss.
sport. Yeah.
You know, if we lose people, if a community loses a sports team, I say that's a pretty bad loss.
Yeah.
So teams not only create money, they not only create a sense of fun, they help us create memories. So the loss would be when a team leaves town, right?
Mm.
So we want to support our teams, cheer for our teams, but make sure that we help hold our teams accountable to create a good product on the field or on the court. That doesn't mean we're going to win every year, but people know organizations who are trying to win. So let's be winners. Let's put the work in. Let's support our teams, but let's support people and our communities.
Yes, I think I have a glitches, Mr. Michael. You cannot hear me now. Can you
I
hear
can
me?
you. Yes.
Yes. My apologies, people.
Oh, it's all good.
We're having a glitches. So, Mr.
Glitches
Michael,
are not going to stop us,
stop us.
Daniel.
Yes, glitches will not stop us spreading the good word in sports 101. Tune in next week, people. We will give you the best topic that will for sure enlighten you, give you knowledge about sports world. So, Mr. Michael, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Enjoyed it. Till next time. Peace and God bless. Adios.
What people, see you soon.